Welcome into the Dawg Dispatch. I'm John Smith, your host. I'm here with a man who needs no introduction, but we're going to give him an introduction anyway. Mr. Davin Bellamy, SEC champion, former Georgia Bulldog, now running the team meeting and his own media company. Listen, y'all have seen me on Twitter. If you ain't subscribed to Davin, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? This man does great work, not only on the team meeting, breaking down games every week, also over on Instagram, on TikTok. I mean, he's everywhere. He's on Dawg Nation once a week. He's on Atlanta News First. I mean, this guy is all over the place. Davin, thanks for joining us today. How you doing, my friend?
Thank you for having me, man. I really appreciate you, man. You've been nothing but, supportive of me since we linked up, man.
Yeah.
So I'm just happy you got me on here, man. But I'm doing good, man. It's about that time. I'm 30, going on 31 in December. So I'm trying to find that lane to step into once I completely put, down the cleats. I'm still doing the UFL. We just won the championship last year with the DC Defenders. But it's getting to that time, and like I always say, man, I've been wanting to do media just as long as I've been wanting to be a professional, athlete. So this is perfect.
Well, awesome. Well, congrats on all the success so far. I know it's only up from here and what you're building. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about Georgia. We're going to talk a little bit about Georgia and Auburn. Man, listen, I clearly did not play at Georgia. I am coming from a fan perspective. I have been to Georgia games many, many years. I have seen both the mountaintop and the valley.
Right.
And Auburn is one of those, right? The Deep South's oldest rivalry. This game has been played since long before any of us were even a twinkle in our parents' eyes. When you hear Georgia Auburn, like what's the first thing that comes to mind for you?
The first thing that comes to my mind, man, has been a red shirt freshman. I'm a red shirt freshman, man, and we're actually, if we win that game, it's Todd Grantham and Mark Rick staff. If we win that game, we go to the not national championship, but the SEC championship game. Mm-hmm. And Nick Marshall throw it up. Trey Matthews go for the pick instead of knocking it down. And I remember being a red shirt freshman, just sitting in my dorm in ECV, just falling to the floor. So that's the first thing that I think about them, man. And then the most recent memory for me was, they gave us, our only loss going for a perfect season.
Mm-hmm.
Going, we was really cooking with oil. We had a lot of confidence. And then we definitely thought we could have ran the table. And they beat the crap out of us. But I also remember that team giving us so much motivation. So when I think about, Auburn, I think about that. When I think about that last year and us playing over what Gus Malzahn said over and over again, in the weight room.
Yep.
Beat
the dog crap out of them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. So Coach Sinclair, they just had that rolling over the weight room. And then we was like begging to see them again in the SEC championship game. So when I think of Auburn, man, it's a lot of memories that come with that for sure.
A lot of memories. Well, let's talk about that real quick and talk about in the context of this Georgia team, right? This Georgia team, man, come into the preseason, had a lot of questions, still have a lot of questions that need to be answered for this team.
Right.
Had the loss to Alabama, broke the 33-game home win streak, all that stuff, right? So as fans, right, I think a lot of times we live and breathe it, and it's like, oh, we can't beat Alabama, and everything you hear, all the noise, all those things. What does that kind of a loss, you mentioned Auburn in 2017, what can that kind of a loss do for a team, especially, coming early in the season against a really good opponent? What can it do for the team, and what do you see from this Georgia team in terms of identity and what they're trying to figure out so far this year, 5 games in?
Right. Well, to answer your first question, you look at Penn State, right? Mm-hmm. They just lost to UCLA. Mm-hmm. Why? Because they couldn't put the last game behind them and worry about the next week. Mm-hmm. So you got two styles right there. You got one team that was so stuck on the Oregon loss that they couldn't get over it in the 24 hours and focus on the next target. Then you got one team, on the other hand, lost a big game, right? Now you got to come play another SEC team. What I seen out of Georgia was they was able to do the 24-hour rule because Coach Smart preaches that rule in a win or loss. So I saw a team get back on track. When I broke down the tape this week, I didn't see drastic improvement, but all you got to do is get 1% better a day. So I saw them fix things that they didn't do well last week. So those are encouraging things to see coming off a loss. Because I kind of look at that. When I looked at the schedule this year, I circled that game, that Bama game, because that's the same way my senior year, I looked at the schedule and I circled the Notre Dame game. I could pencil in a win. This one right here, I don't know. But if we can get this one, we cooking with oil, right? We was able to steal one. Okay. Now, this young team, they lost that game, but it's still a pivotal game because if you lose that game, it could make you focus on things that you probably want to focus on during a win. So I kind of guarantee you that last week of practice, this week was probably their hardest practice. You dig what I'm saying? So when I look at it from that standpoint, because in reality, man, it's so hard to run the table. It's so hard to go undefeated. You want to win them all, but you're probably not. How do you respond to those L's? Looking at this team right here, we kind of figured, they was like a box of chocolates coming in. It was a lot of guys playing for the first time, getting meaningful snaps, first-time starters. So you didn't know what you was getting. But these guys need reps to get comfortable. So we just in week 4, week 5 right now. This team will look completely different 2-3 weeks from now.
Man, that's a good word too. And and you mentioned, listen, there's a lot of coach speak, there's a lot of cliches, but the one that is true every time is you can't let one loss turn into 2 losses. You just can't do it.
You can't.
If you have the program, the mentality, the culture where that one loss ain't turning into 2, man, that's foundational right there. And then from there, that's to your point. It's like, then you got to figure out how can you continue to get better from that loss. But just so many teams, you mentioned Penn State, so many teams can't get over the hump of like letting one loss turn into 2, right?
Yeah.
And then the other thing you mentioned too, it is hard to win them all. I think, again, as fans, man, you win as much as Kirby's won, you get spoiled.
Yeah, you get spoiled.
And bro, listen, like Nick Saban, I say this all the time. Nick Saban, by all measures, the greatest college football coach to ever do it.
Right. Never
had a team go undefeated in a 15-game season, right? And now we're playing more than 15 games. And so he had one in the BCS era, and then he had the COVID team. But like even him, like you play enough games, you're going to lose one.
Yeah.
And I think that's something important for fans to keep in mind. And I really appreciate that perspective. All right, let's talk a little bit about Georgia and Auburn specifically. You mentioned Jordan-Hare, like, man, people talk about how tough this place is to play in, especially at night. What makes we can talk about this stadium specifically, but just the SEC on the road in general. What makes it so tough, like playing in these stadiums? What's from a player's perspective? What's the challenge when you're coming into a game like this?
Well, you already know, man. This is the SEC, so we got the biggest stadiums.
Yeah,
so they hold more. And we love our football.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And majority of the teams are in that demographic where it's just old school, baby. You know what I'm saying? It's old school. So I mean, when you're on the road, you honestly get that feeling of being a warrior because you're going into a hostile environment. You fully expect everything that you're going to hear. And a player like me embraced it. You know what I'm saying? Like we probably gonna get stuff thrown at us.
Yeah,
coming out. We probably gonna get. Go ahead.
Did you? Some guys prefer. Now listen, like playing in front of the home crowd.
Right.
I mean, that's hard to beat, right? But did you kind of did you kind of prefer a little bit sometimes going to those environments, right, for the big games, like being the world versus us kind of
For
mentality?
me,
Yeah,
for me, bro, I had all my biggest games on the road.
yeah,
It's something about being on that road, man. Like I don't.
yeah, yeah.
It's something about being on that road. Like I love making 90,000 roar,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
But you know how much power it is to make 90 to 100,000 be quiet.
Woo,
I
woo.
mean,
Yeah,
like so.
yeah.
I mean, that's a. I love playing on the road, man. But sheesh, I loved it. I loved it more than I love playing at home for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah, well, these crowds, Jordan-Hare is a good example you mentioned. I mean, these people are out for blood. You get a
No,
night game, and
yeah,
As Kirby said, they have more time to prepare,
yeah,
which
yeah,
which they out there getting in that brown water and gonna roll in
for
there
sure.
and try to give Georgia hell. What's the biggest key for this team, for Georgia, coming into this environment? We'll start with the defense, right? I mean, Hugh Freeze, he's known as an offensive guy. The
Right.
offense really hasn't lived up to the standards, especially when you look at those wideouts they got on the outside. I mean, they got skill players all over the field, but it seems like maybe the offensive line hasn't been able to hold up a little bit on that
Right.
side of the ball. What's the key for Georgia's defense going into this game versus Hugh Freeze offense?
Well, we got to start fast, man. We
Yeah.
got to start fast because we just mentioned how tough it is to play at Auburn.
Hmm.
Excuse me. So, I mean, if that defense start playing with a lead and
Hmm.
you get in the third and long and they get rocking, I don't want to see our young tackles have to hold up on the road, going on a silent count, defense playing with a lead, and, and the defense end just getting off. I don't want to see that. So the defense got to start fast, man. And when I say that, I say starting fast equals getting off the field on third down,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So how do we get off the field on third down? We know Georgia's going to stop the run, right? Georgia does a great job, except for probably the Bama game. That's because Bama was giving us so much play action on first
Hmm.
down. Georgia does a great job of stopping the run on first down. So we're going to get in second and long and third and long. So the problem with us is generating the pass rush and the coverage working
Hmm.
together to get off third downs. Stopping the run is never a problem. So Georgia got to start fast, man. And what you've been seeing these last 5 games is teams are staying away from the first round corner,
Hmm.
Dalen Everett,
Yep.
and they're attacking the first year starter,
Hmm.
as you should.
Yep.
This game is off the mismessage. It's not about feelings. We're going at the young guy,
Hmm.
period.
Hmm.
And the tape shows that he's not winning the 50-50 battles downfield, or when you press pause, he's behind the receiver.
Hmm.
So you know Hugh Freeze is gonna take shots at him. So we gotta win the 50-50 balls, but in order to stop the ball even getting that far downfield, the quarterback need time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we gotta affect the passer. We gotta affect the passer. But getting off third down and affecting the passer is the best way, for the defense to be successful down there.
Yeah. And you mentioned it, right? I mean, I think like it's what Georgia's made a living the last few years of mismatches too, right? It's why when you had
Right.
Brock Bowers and Darnell Washington and Lab McConkey, it's like, and then you had Kenny McIntosh coming out of the backfield. Like you had those guys, you could motion into a lot of mismatches and win one on ones.
Exactly.
And I think it's no secret what we've seen from the young corner over there. And also I would say, a little bit, I think sometimes we've seen it. Linebackers have been a lot better this year, but sometimes we've seen it, with linebackers getting caught up on a mismatch as well too, on a
Yeah, for
on a
sure.
on a good tight end, etc. So that's a good word. What on the offensive side of the ball? I know, start fast is for sure like Georgia's secret sauce, right? I mean, we saw
Right.
it last year. It felt like, well, I mean, versus Kentucky was Georgia's first lead at halftime since October 19th of
Yeah,
2024
that's
versus
crazy.
Texas. Yeah, so we've been playing behind for, it's almost a full calendar year until this last week. So obviously got to start fast, but when you think about these skill players, when you think about, running backs, what Chauncey Bowens has been doing, um, what's some of the key matchups that you see that Georgia's got to win on that offensive side of the ball?
Line of scrimmage.
Hmm.
Line of scrimmage. This team was built the way that it's running. I
Hmm.
mean, we've almost ran for 200 yards in every game. We've ran for more than 190 yards, except for one game. When you damn near getting 200 on the ground every game, man,
Yeah.
that's a staff that purposely went out and created that. That just doesn't happen by mistake, especially when you're doing it with what I call, as you probably remember this, it's the DVD,
Yeah.
Done Dick Ducket.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
When you got a three-headed monster, including a quarterback that can run the ball, it puts the defense in so many precarious situations, and it slows down the ability for the defense to play fast and react, because you always got to worry about the quarterback pulling the ball or sneaking out of the back door. Mm-hmm. So when I look at this running game, it was put in place for this style of QB. Mm. This style of QB wasn't, and this team wasn't put together for him to go out there and be. Now, we did see him do it against, Tennessee. So I'm not going to limit him.
No.
But what I'm saying is, though, is when they purposely put this offense together, it's to be a dominant run attack. The quarterback always puts us in third and manageables because he's mobile enough to get us out of bad situation and always keep the offense ahead of the sticks. You dig what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that's going to start. We have to do that because that'll put us in better third down situations. Where did even Carson Beck struggle last year? Why do we have to go for it so much on fourth down? Because we didn't have the running game we had this year. Yeah. So it's 3rd and 9. It's 3rd and 11. And people putting all this blame on Carson Beck, but do you understand how hard it is to complete 3rd and 8 plus?
Yeah.
Especially when the defensive coordinator is calling out them dime rabbits.
Yeah.
So it's so tough. You put stress on the offense and you put stress on the quarterback. This year we're doing a lot better of staying in 3rd and manageable. So to go back to your question, up front has to be up front. Dominate the run game, win first down. Let's make it 2nd and manageable, 3rd and 5s, and I think you will start to see what you saw last week. If this offense stays, ahead of schedule, and it's 3rd and 4, Gunnar Solid can put that up with his legs.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's a key, right? I mean, it's a different style of football that Georgia's playing this year than they tried to play last year, and that run game makes a huge difference. But it also, you mentioned, you said, we don't want to limit Carson Beck. I mean, what I like about, we don't want to limit Gunnar Stockton. What I like about Gunnar Stockton is he proved that he can make the throws. I mean, he proved to Tennessee under pressure, 4th and 8. He can take shots. He can make the throws. If you can play that old school complementary football, right? Like just stay ahead of the sticks.
Right.
You got a guy who can make throws when needed. But that's the key. I think that's what we saw, a little bit against Alabama. It was kind of one of those situations where we were running the ball very effectively, but when the field gets shorter, right, when everything shrinks,
right,
and they know you're going to run the ball, that's when that complementary, that other side's got to come. And I think that's what Georgia. The key is, like, to your point, stay ahead of the sticks, and then when you have that opportunity to take those shots, you got to make those plays because you're not this offense isn't built to just take shot. This offense is built to, when you have them, you got to cash in on them. So I think that's a big key this weekend, especially in a environment that's going to be crazy. Listen, I married an Auburn woman,
so it's going to be crazy,
brother. Listen,
they're diehard too.
Her family had season tickets going all the way back to her great granddad used to sit outside the bookstore and hawk tickets. It's obvious. So I've been to a lot of games over there, and I know what Georgia's going to have, and I'm excited to see it. Though I think this is going to be. You mentioned, the Alabama loss. Where did the team grow up? Where did the team learn from? Where can they start improving? I think this is going to be a good measuring stick to see, like, can you take that adversity from a loss? You were able to turn around and win one at home. Now you take that and can you travel and take it on the road?
Exactly.
You get one thing to say to this team before the game. What are you telling them? What's your pregame? What's your pregame? Let's keep it safe for
what's crazy?
Yeah.
This is not unfamiliar for me. This was my job my senior year. So I was the guy that led the last. I was the last voice they heard before Coach Smart came in. Or if Coach
Beautiful.
Smart came in and delivered it, then I'll be the last voice to hear. But I always tell guys, this is what you came here for.
Mm.
This is what you came here for. Everything you get in life, you got to admit, you live a good life being a Georgia football player. You get a lot of perks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you get perks for games like this.
Yep.
You get perks for games like this. This is where you come, make a name for yourself. Like, kind of with games like this, you didn't need a lot of hoorah.
No.
Because you understood this is why I came here. Night game at Jordan-Hare. They want to beat us.
Mm-hmm.
90% of them want to play for us. And I'm always a guy that say, when you pay your dues, you get what you owe, right? But at the end of the day, we getting all these perks being Georgia players. This is our time to pay all that back. All that back right now. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I would kind of give them more in a more rowdy way.
Yeah.
Because like a pro coach told me, when you go to that parking lot, you got nice cars.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you pay for them nice cars on Sunday.
Yeah, that's a good word. And listen,
Yeah.
like this team, especially, you mentioned it, man. Like the program that Kirby Smart has built, and you and guys that were with you being that foundation, going all the way back to Coach Rick, those
right,
that foundation has been built, and this is it. Like if you can't get up for a night game at Auburn where they're retiring Cam Newton's number, and they got, like the whole, like, it is one of those things where these are the environments that, like you said, you don't need any extra juice, but you do need to be reminded. It's like, this is why you come to a school like Georgia.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And look, man, and even another point, these guys getting paid now.
Yeah.
So look, I gave you $800,000 to come to this school and put that jersey on. I didn't give you $800,000 to come here and go to school. Education is important. You got $800,000 to come here, not to play Marshall, but to play Auburn at 7:30 at night. I'm not giving you $800,000 to look good versus Marshall and Austin P. You got $800,000 and that nice car outside and that chain around your neck for the Auburn game. Don't ever forget that.
Man, we're gonna bring you out of retirement, put you back in the locker room, brother.
No
That's
doubt,
awesome.
though, for
Yeah,
sure.
I'm ready to run through a brick wall, and I'm old. I wouldn't recover from that for a while. No, man, that's awesome. Well, let's do a little bit of rapid fire, and then we'll get you out of here. Your favorite win as a Dawg? Like, I know, and listen, I know that's hard. I know all of them are good, but like, you look back, what's a couple of games that you're like, man, that was a good one to be a part of?
Damn, you got me stuck, man. It's either between Notre Dame or the SEC championship.
Shoot.
I'm gonna go with the SEC championship simply because that was 2017. We hadn't won one since 2006 or 3 or something like since DJ Shockley, 2005.
Yeah.
So to be a part of something that brings a championship back for that long, and then the revenge that I really wanted against Auburn, and we down 7-0, and they got the ball in the red zone, and on the play where I sacked Stidham and we went on a 21 unanswered run, it was a player in the back of the end zone wide open. So I just think about, okay, that sack fumble forced us to rip off 21 straight.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with the SEC championship for sure.
That's huge. Yeah, that's huge, and that's a good call too. Those kind of moments are the moments that again, that's why you play the game. You play the game for those kind of moments. I remember, for me, I'll tell you, mine was Notre Dame. That strip sack, dude. I almost made a lap around the house. I came up off the couch over the coffee table. I mean, that was huge because that was, again, Georgia's we've always had good teams. But that moment, it felt different to go. I know a lot of Georgia fans traveled up there, but to go to South Bend, to go
Yeah,
versus a ranked team at
right,
night, national
right.
TV, to pull that game out the way we did was awesome too. But
You-
yeah, those.
And you know what? That's what we talked about, earlier. That game was I feel like that game we rode the momentum for the rest of the
Mhm,
season.
mhm,
You look at the Georgia teams in the past and just look at the narrative sometimes of can't win the big one.
mhm,
So
mhm.
you look at teams in the past, not saying they would have lost that game, but that was just our narrative and the fans' narrative at that time where
Yeah,
we're going to start off 3-0, then there's going to be a big game that everybody's watching and we're going to lose that one. I feel
yeah,
like to sneak out of there, man, because it really felt like we snuck out of there. We
yeah.
just snuck out of there like highway robbery. And to do
Man,
that, we just rode that momentum. So I
yeah.
was stuck between the two for sure.
No, and I'll just be straight up with you too. Straight up, I had faith that we were going to win that game, but when Notre
Right.
Dame got the ball back with
Yeah.
time on the clock, it's like that. All that stuff, all those years, everything creeping up. It was good. It was good when that turnover happened. Man, that was huge. Tell me about some of your toughest guys that you played to. Toughest place to play. Toughest teams you played.
Man, you know
Uh,
what? I'm going to give credit when credit due. Kentucky was always tough.
yeah.
Kentucky was probably the only game where, I came out with a busted lip. I just remember my
Mm,
lip was so busted because, Kentucky really, besides the Auburn, Ronnie
mhm,
Brown and
mhm,
Cadillac Williams,
mhm.
era, Kentucky was the one that really brought that Wildcat back.
Yeah.
And I remember playing them when they didn't have a quarterback at all, and they ran Wildcat 1 through 4. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yep.
and I just remember those games being so tough, man. Yeah, so man, I mean, I'm gonna have to give it to Kentucky, man. Those
Mhm.
games are just always just bruisers, and even though you win the game, you always feel like you lost the battle.
Man, that's a good way to put it. Kentucky, in 2016, I looked this up while you're talking. 2016, Kentucky ran the ball 40 times.
Yeah,
They totaled it
yeah,
40 times
yeah,
in that game,
yeah,
27-24. Yeah, those are the ones, especially when you play in the position you played. It's
yeah,
coming downhill at you all
for
day long.
sure, for
That's rough.
sure. And I mean, they pulling people with the Wildcat. I mean,
Mhm.
then they had Greg Blue
Yep.
at running back. About 6'3", 225. Put him at Wildcat. They
Yeah.
got a big old offensive guard leading for him. That was tough.
That's tough. That's tough. Well, tell folks where they can find you. Really appreciate you coming on today and chatting up with us. Where can folks find you?
No, man, I appreciate that, man. Well, I'm Davin Bellamy 17 on, Instagram, and then Team 7 meeting. All that's together is where you can find my
Mhm.
weekly, breakdowns. Also, my Twitter is Davin Bellamy 17. That's where I repost all the other team meeting
Mhm.
stuff. And then you go to my YouTube channel, 17.0VE Media, One Love Media, and you will find all the shorts and all the the team meeting stuff. Yep.
Man, go subscribe, go follow. In the description of this show, you'll see links to go check out this man. He's doing really good work. Excited to see where he goes from here. Thanks for joining us. We'll see y'all next time.